संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो श्रुत्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे कालिन्दी फुल्लकमले माधवेन क्रीडारत ब्रह्मानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं सद्गुरो लोकनायक योगानन्द प्रेमानन्दाश्चान्ये वै ये च पार्षदा रामकृष्ण कथप्राण सर्वांस्तान् प्रणमाम्यहम्। আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম কালী দ্য মাদার, না ওটা ইংরেজিতে। তারপরে আমরা এলাম নাচুক তাহাতে শ্যামা, ইংরেজিতে অনুবাদ করেছে লেট শ্যামা ডান্স দেয়ার। ইংরেজিতে খুব সুন্দর অনুবাদ করতে, এটা কঠিন আছে অনুবাদ করাটা। সেখানে কালীর ভয়ঙ্কর রূপ আর পাশাপাশি কোমল রূপ দুটি রেখেছেন। অর্থটা হলো জীবনটা হচ্ছে কোমলে কঠোরে বিশাল একটা অদ্ভুত মিশ্রণ। সবসময় খুব ভালো যাবে না, সবসময় খুব খারাপও যাবে না। আমরা কিন্তু সবসময় জীবনটা কেন মধুময় হবে এটা নিয়ে ভাবছি। আর মধুময়ের যে ব্যাখ্যাটাও আমাদের অনেক রকম, বিভিন্ন সময়ে বিভিন্ন রকম ব্যাখ্যা হয়। ছোটবেলায় একরকম ভাবি, তারপরে একটু পরবর্তীকালে এরকম ভাবি। সেখানে স্বামীজি বলছেন জীবনটি যেমনটি আছে তেমনটি নেওয়া যায় কিনা। এটা অদ্ভুত একটা দার্শনিক তত্ত্ব। It's a very, I should speak in English also. It's a very interesting phenomenon in life itself, that you have to take life as it comes. There's a beautiful shloka in the Mahabharata which says, whether sorrow comes, take it. If joy comes, take it. Face things as they come. And the Sanskrit expression is very subtle, not easy to translate into English. Sukham va yadiva dukkham, priyam va yadiva priyam, praptam upasita hridayena aparajitah. Hridayena aparajitah, not being defeated at heart, not having a fatalistic attitude. Fatalism means, anyway, this is my fate, I am confined to this, I am condemned to do this, etc. Without having that kind of fatalistic attitude, without getting defeated in the heart, whether it is sukha, dukkha, priya or apriya, sorrow or joy, pleasant or unpleasant, praptam, whatever has come to you, whatever you have received, praptam iti upasita. That which has come to you has come to you. And don't try to change it, don't try to neglect it, don't try to condemn it, don't try to rejoice at it. It has come and take it. The expression upasita is very significant. Upasana means worship, sitting near the Lord, engage in spiritual activity. Here he says, upa means near, asita, sit near it. Which means, whatever comes to you, be with it. Swami Vivekananda's inspired talks, he gives a beautiful expression, rise with the rising tide and fall with the falling tide. It's very easy to swim in the flow of waters in the rivers or even a lake, etc. But in the sea, those are called surfing in the sea. Surfers in the sea know you should never swim across a wave. The wave is rising. You should never try to swim across the wave, you'll be thrown out by the power and the momentum of the wave. So when the wave is rising, rise with it. And the wave is now falling down, and fall with this. Rise with the rising tide and fall with the falling tide. This is the significance of praptam upasita. Sometimes we try to take it and then with grumblingly, hesitatingly, unhappily, anyway, it has come to me, what I can do. And don't be too much cheerful also. Oh, this has come to me, wonderful, etc. Don't be too much elated and depressed also. Harsha Marsha Bhayodvegair Mukto Yasaja Me Priya. The Bhagavad Gita says, 12th chapter, Bhagavan defines who are the people who are dear to me. Harsha, Amarsha, Bhava Bhaya, and Udvega. Harsha is happiness. Amarsha, depression or unhappiness. Bhaya, fear. Fear of what? Fear of failure. Most of us suffer not with any real fear. Some people use the expression fear of the unknown. Why do you fear death? Because fear of the unknown. Swami Ramakrishna Ji was a mathematician himself. Analyzes the statement and says, how can you fear the unknown? You don't know it. You can't fear something which you do not know. Fear of death is a fear of known. Because you have died so many times. You have died so many times. And every time you have been facing some kind of calamity we don't know. Last time when we died, we must have been born several times. We must have been dogs or cats or insects or worms. Who knows? Birds. So when we died last time, some kind of terrible marana jantrana they call it. At the time of death, it seems a tremendous misery you pass through. So that memory must be there. So you are not fearing the unknown, you are fearing the known. So bhaya and udvega. Udvega is an anxiety about something which has not happened to you. Suppose it happens to me. So what's going to happen? Most of the fears that we have, which all of us have, which you people have, when you face an examination, when you appear for a competitive exam, and then you want to apply for something, there's huge competition. Only 5% of people who appear will be selected, like the NEET exam, etc. But a terrible anxiety whether they'll be able to do. There is no need for anxiety because of a simple reason. Either will be selected or not selected. There are only two options. If you are not selected, there's nothing you can do about it. If you are selected, you are happy. My old grandfather taught me this, I repeat this every time, and he lived it actually. For every problem under the sun, there is a remedy or there is none. If there is one, try to find it. If there is none, never mind it. So anxiety is something which is imaginarily you are feeling before it has happened to you. One revered monk who was Vice President Swami Atmapriyananda Ji was my intellectual mentor for about 20 years. He was quite old and he will not like to travel by plane. Finally, he was forced to do it. Then he will not take any assistant. One Sevak always goes with him so that he doesn't fall down, etc. He will not take it. Then he told him, Maharaj, why don't you take somebody with you? What will that fellow do? Maharaj, you're an old man, suppose you fall down. He can't hold me before I fall. After I fall, some old man, somebody will pick me up. See, actually, we anticipate a fall. Suppose you fall. There is no end to suppositions. Suppose this fan falls down, which happened to me, you know. How many times I have met with deaths and come back. When I was a brahmachari, there's a Kali Puja day, Phalaharani Kali Puja. The whole thing got over by 2:30 or 3. I came and slept at 3:30. Of course, there's a mosquito net. Now the mosquitoes are less because of various measures which government has taken. The terrible mosquitoes were there. Suddenly, as a boom, there's a sound. The bed switch, I put it on and saw the massive fan has come down and it has fallen here. Fortunately, because mosquito curtain, it got tilted and fell on the side. Otherwise, it fell in me, I would have gone long back. In those days, that army fans, the huge, have you seen that? a sharp edge. Suppose it falls down. Anybody can guarantee it not fall down. Even I'm afraid directly to sit and rest. See, anything is possible in life. Suppose you say, oh, you don't go there, it is steep, climbing is there, you may fall down. You may fall down even here. Usually old people without balance, they fall down in the bathroom. It's a common thing and they break their arm, legs, etc. So anything can happen in life. Life is so uncertain. The uncertainty and the fragility, unpredictability of life is one thing which makes it so beautiful. We'll sing that song, Heparan last. We can't predict anything what's going to happen now or later. So why do you anticipate something happening and become anxious? So we are all the time anxious. Suppose I open this window, we get to nothing is going to happen. Open and see what happened. Let air come in. Not that you should be reckless, but you should be scientifically reckless. You should know where you should be more careful. So, given the unpredictability in life, try to face situations as they come. Praptam upasita. But don't have a defeatist attitude. Anyway, I am confined to this is my fate, and so on. So that's why in Hinduism, our two great gods, Mahadeva and Kali and Kala, both of them were considered mad. Very few of Hindu gods are sane. Vishnu is sane. That's why he is a Palayita. We don't know much about Brahma. Why is madness attributed to gods? Madness is the only situation of the human mind or brain where there is no reason. A mad person, suppose he throws a stone at you. You don't say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then he'll laugh and throw another stone. Madness, I can go deeper into this philosophically. What is reason? Reason means you seek a cause for everything. Why did this happen? Reason means why, isn't it? Why did this happen? Why did this happen to me? It could have happened to anybody else. There's a cartoon in Australia long back. One of my friends told me, Pope was subject to attempted assassination. Somebody wanted to kill him. He escaped, of course. So the cartoon says, Pope is holding his, why me? An onlooker says, why anybody? It could happen to anybody, anytime. Now, we ask in life, why me? Why did it happen to me? I did so much good to everybody. That fellow selfish, he got all the goods of life. But I am suffering like this. Everybody thinks I have been singled out by God and I am punished this way. Everybody thinks. I don't deserve this treatment. Why did God give me this treatment? I did so much for this boy. He went against me. Why did it happen? Then you can have so many explanations and reasons. Hinduism is very extraordinarily intelligent. They push it to the previous life. You know what is the advantage? Because nobody knows what happened in the previous life. It's a common thing in our circles. I heard it from Bhuteshanand Ji, I heard it from Vireshvi, they are gone. So you can't verify. I heard it myself. What is the proof? So it's convenient to push everything in the past lives, Purva Janma, because of that karma you are suffering now. Because of that karma you are gone. And on the another dimension, don't worry, how all your karma is accumulated, next life you'll get everything. So in that hope you go on, what's going to happen, nobody knows. So you push it either to something past or future, but you just stand in the present and see. I don't know why this happened. The only answer to why is I don't know. Those of you who studied Swami Vivekananda Chicago speeches, there's a paper which he read there called Paper in Hinduism. He asked the question, the religions ask, why this happened? The Semitic religion saw the problem of saying there's God sitting there. He suddenly chose he should create the world. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After the sixth day, he becomes so tired and he rested. Therefore, the seventh day, nobody should do any work because God rested. Called Sunday. In the Judaism, it's a Saturday, Sabbath day. And Judaism and Christianity, whatever they should do, is the opposite. They will do Saturday, they will do Sunday. Three Semitic religions, all of them share the same ideology, but they have different conventions. So why do they invoke God? Is God willed it that way. But that's not acceptable because you simply pose on God and say it's happening like this. Difficult to accept. Reason doesn't accept it. But what is reason we should inquire now? How much can reason go? So the idea of the question of why cannot be raised in the field of Maya. Swamiji said this. Why, how, etc. There are questions which can be asked only when you go beyond the relative world. As long as in your relative world, why means this, because of this, that has happened. Which is called causal relationship, causality. Causation is a very important concept in science also. This happens because of that, that happens. Can you really one-to-one causality, can you really bring in? A particular effect may be because of several causes. It's called, Jayanta Bhatta, famous Nayayika, he called it Karankuta. Karankuta means a huge number of causes resulting in some particular situation. So causality, does it apply to God or in the world also? Why we are suffering like this or why we are related like this? It's impossible for you to get so many marks. Suddenly you say, you find it in so many marks. Two boys, one of them very intelligent, very studious, his thorough preparation, he went to the exam. Only a particular chapter he left out. All the questions came from that chapter only. He didn't do well. Another boy studied only one chapter, all the questions came from the chapter. We call it luck. What is luck? Something undefined. You don't know why it happened. Or you may say because of Purva Karma, because of Sukriti. We call it Sukriti. That is because cleverly, these Mimamsikas say, if you do good things, then you will do good things later on. It's an inducement for people to do something good. But you ask the question, there are people who do everything, all wicked things. But they are thriving. They are winning everywhere. So how do you explain this? Events in the world of space-time causation are inexplicable. Nothing can be explained through causality. It just happens. So you come to the situation which you say, I don't know why it happens, but I know it happens. All that you can say is just happens. It's a happening. If you take it as a happening, then it happens, it happens. But the human mind will not be happy. It will go on probing and asking why this. So only a mad person is beyond causality. Why is a mad person behaving like mad? Because he is mad. You can't ask why he is doing like this because he doesn't operate within the sphere of causality. That's why in the court of law, somebody made an offense. If you can prove he is out of mind, he is not sane, then he cannot be punished. Can you think of one more situation, one more person Who is beyond causality? Children. Children cannot be bound by causality. I'll give you a simple example. I was there at that time. The Central University convocation was held. I was also an invitee. Abdul Kalam came. He was the President of India and he had Z plus 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 security. How many kinds of checks and cross checks they did. So all of us went and sat there. Abdul Kalam had not come. After Sunday, he came and sat there. You know Abdul Kalam's hairstyle and all that, the way he laughs. One small child was very curious. He was looking, that fellow was looking at Abdul Kalam curiously. Maybe he's the child of one of the top placed officers. Then before the function was about to begin, that fellow simply came just before Abdul Kalam and ran away. If I had done that, I would have been arrested immediately for insulting the president and what is your motive, etc. What was the reaction of the child? Everybody laughed, Abdul Kalam also laughed, and they immediately took it in the lap and tried to fondle that boy. What is the difference? He is not operating under causality. Why a child is doing what it is doing is a question which cannot be answered. So, the happiest are the people who go beyond causality. Because they can function and then they can move around, they can live in any way they like. If you are bound by causality, then every time you have social norms, you don't behave that, don't do that way, etc., etc. So always remain like children. Sri Ramakrishna, for example, we have like a child. Many times he could not even keep the cloth on his body. But nobody minded. Wherever he went, he used to speak the same rustic language. When they went to Devendranath Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore's father, then his coat was not buttoned properly, his dress was shabby. Then Devendranath told him, see, please dress well before you come next time. Next time you should dress well and button your shirt. So Ramakrishna said, I can't promise that, what I will do at that time. Then please don't come, he said. What I'm saying is, we are so much concerned about social norms and etiquette and which way you should behave. Therefore, there is a rebellion against this. You've heard of the hippie movement? In the 60s, it was very powerful. The Beatles and all that, they became ardent disciples of Maharishi Yogi, the Beatles. Because he was teaching a philosophy, teaching a yoga, which they like. There's nothing there to do. You go in your own way. They wanted to break away from all social norms, behave any way they like. That the urge to break away from causality is natural to a human being. Why? If you have causality, if you are causally bound, you are in bondage. Because you have to behave this way, you have to do this way. See, being a teacher, you can't be talking like this. Students can talk anything they like. Oh, they are all children there. If you're a highly placed officer, you can't smile properly. You have to sit still like this. No one then because you smile like that, what means you're smiling like that? All conclusions will be drawn, all motives will be attributed to you. Suppose you feel very sad and think, he is sad, something has happened to him. Something they will go on writing about you. There are certain norms you have to obey. The way you walk, the way you eat, everything is watched by society and you want to be socially acceptable. What is the word for it? People who criticize those celebrities in social media. It's called trolling. It's a very common word nowadays. I've been trolled and therefore I've been so upset. Celebrities become upset, I've been trolled. I block the social media. Why do you allow yourself? You behave in the way they like. Let people say what they like. So we want to be socially acceptable. We want to be praised by people. Want to be acceptable? How many million followers do you have? You may have the whole world may be your follower. So what? So the idea of tatakim in Sanskrit, so what means tatakim? Shankara was very fond of this. Tatakim, 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 tatakim. So what, so what, so what? Because when you're bound by causality, then you have to plan your life according to certain societal and social norms. And the bondage of causality is something you want to break away from. Why? Once again, why? Because science always keeps asking why, and therefore you get totally confused after some time. Outstanding discoveries in science came because they got tired, they simply were striking against a wall of causality and it broke. Quantum physics, they say it's a break in the wall of causality. This Buddha, Nagarjuna, the whole of Madhyamika is about how to break causality, non-causal situations. Because the human mind always wants freedom, craves for freedom. Swami Vivekananda says, freedom, oh freedom, freedom, oh freedom is the song of the soul. Somehow he wants to break away. Put some restrictions, he will break away. So suppose you want somebody to behave in a particular pattern. Teach them to do the other way. Then he'll do the opposite. There are some people who always oppose. This is very common in Bengal. Prativad. Because they have been freedom fighters for everything. I was with them for 28 years. When they are teachers' meetings, nobody will accept anybody else. They'll be waiting. I have something to say. I repeat the same thing which has been told earlier. It's been told, but still I'm saying. Then somebody got up. I opposed this severely. Sir, do you know what is the issue? Whatever may be the issue, first I'll oppose. আমি তীব্র প্রতিবাদ জানাচ্ছি স্যার কি বিষয় যাই হোক প্রতিবাদ হয়েছে There is a human mind that wants to revolt against everything. Why does it want to revolt? To break away from the conditioning. If you put this, then I'll be conditioned to this. So how to break causality is the solution. So you want to project a God who is completely beyond causality. So either he should be a child or he should be mad. So how Hinduism discovered all this? So I thought about this and then what is the principle behind this? So the sweetest, the darling of all humanity is Balagopala. He's a child. He steals butter. If anybody steals, what will you do? Is it allowed? But Gopala can steal butter. It's so charming, so sweet, so cute, because he is not under causality. He goes on eating mud, opens the mouth and shows the Vishwabrahmana. So the God, Balagopala, is so dear to everybody. Not Gopi Vallabha, Gita Charya, Mathura Disha, etc. Slightly older Krishnas. Everybody is charmed by him. Even Gopi Vallabha is also charming because the love of the gopis is something which is non-causal. The only thread which connects the causal world and the non-causal world is prema. Suppose somebody loves somebody does not love somebody else. You can't ask why. Why do you love this? I don't know, it's very charming. I don't like, you may not like, but I like. Liking something, loving somebody, loving some object, loving a job also. Somebody takes up a job. How do people take up jobs in defense? Terrible cold, they're fighting. So they feel not only adventurous, somehow they feel they love for that job. So love is something which cannot be questioned through why. When I read the Shakharaprati, Swamiji's famous poem, to a friend, he says, I tried all kinds of things, meditation, living in the Himalayas and fasting and intensest tapasya, so many things I did. I didn't get anything. What did I discover through all this? Prem, prem, matradhan. Because there is a universal feeling in everybody, Swamiji says. Brahma hoite kitu paramano sarva bhuteshai premamaya. Starting from an insect which is a worm which is crawling on the floor to the highest saint, in everybody's heart, this prema is always there. Because the prema connects you to the finite and the infinite, relative and the absolute, the causal and the non-causal. Because that is the only road by which you can go from the finite to the infinite. Because all the sadhana that you do, suppose you want to find God, you want to meditate, you want to attain the Supreme Being, realize Brahman and so on, Brahmanubhuti, etc. What is Brahman? It is infinite and absolute. Where are you doing your sadhana? In the relative world, which is the finite world. How can any sadhana, any effort done in the relative world, finite world, connect you to that which is infinite? It is just impossible. It is logically not possible. The only thing which connects is love. That's what Swami found out. Swami said, I discovered. He said, what is it I discovered? They discovered that is the only connection between the finite and the infinite. Because love is non-causal. There is no causality in love. Causality liking and disliking somebody. So a child is so charming because child is not governed by causality. And saints are not governed by causality. Saints like Sri Ramakrishna, they are not governed by causality. You can't tutor him. Ramakrishna was trying, somebody tried to tutor him, you should say, behave like this, you should do this. I cannot promise all this. I behave, behave in a way which, at that mood, whatever I do. So we projected gods and goddesses who are either children or who are mad. Slightly older gods are mad. Younger gods like Gopala, etc., are so charming because they are not causally bound. Even Ramchandra, Bala Ramchandra, very few people, poets have sung. Thamake, Thamake Ramchandra, this beautiful song. Tulsidas. Little child Rama is crawling. Child Gopala is most famous. Everybody worships Bala Gopala. So causality is something which binds you, and the human mind wants to go beyond bondage. The problem is, why don't we go beyond? We are caught in the body, we are caught in our mind, we are caught in our reason, we are caught in our intellect, we are caught in our ahankara and our egoism. So you can't go out. Suppose you say, this room I don't like, there is stuff here, I'll go out. You can go out. This body is terrible, so dirty, I want to go out of this body. You can't. It can be done, provided you have Ichamrityu. There are great saints who have developed the Ichamrityu. They can die when they wish. They can walk out of the body and come back. Like astronauts in space modules. They are tied to the space module, and then they go and have a walk outside and see everywhere, and of course they come back. Many of the great saints and Siddha yogis have done this. Swami, Holy Mother Sharada Devi, suddenly she felt he is out of the body. Body is lying there. They said, shall I enter it? She felt, no, I will never enter this body. Again, of course, she was forced. The first is the realization we are hopelessly caught in this body-mind complex. It's called, in Sanskrit, it is called Sanghata. Karya Karana Sanghata. Karya is the body, Karana is the mind. So we are caught in this. And we are restlessly trying to get out. That restlessness manifests in all that we do. Why we are restless is because we are not satisfied with the present situation. Swami Ramakrishna says people are restless Yoga has a different take on this. Yoga says restlessness has to be completely controlled, chitta vritti should be controlled. Vedanta says, no, why do you have to control? That's a good sign. This fellow is restless because he's not happy with the present situation. He gives a beautiful example, Swami Ramakrishna Ji. Suppose you take a fish from water, put it on the simhasana, throne, and then give it all honor, the best of food and clothing, and then you wave the chamara. Fish will say, I don't want all this, put me back to water. In exactly the same way, a time comes and you feel you are completely bound to this body. The feeling that you're in bondage, that feeling should first come. We think we are very happy in the body. A time comes, no, I don't want to be here anymore. I'll be in the body if I can't make it, but I'll be detached from the body. This is called a Jivan Mukta. He is a Mukta, he is free while living in the body, not attached to the body, but he feels totally free. Others may think that he is in the body, but he is not in the body. So the idea of causality, as carefully understand, is at the root of all misery. You want to find why for everything, and you think you have found out the why to some extent and manipulate. This I will manipulate this way, that I will manipulate that way. Endlessly you manipulate. Where do you manipulate? In time and space of causation. Again and again. So gods and goddesses are portrayed as people who are beyond causality. Either they should be children or they should be mad. So slightly older gods like Shiva is oldest. You know what he is called? Jeshtha and Sreshtha. Jeshtha Namo. Jeshtha means Buddho. हमारा मंगलती की बोली जेठू बोली ना, an old man is sitting there. So Jeshtha, and it's called Buddha Shiva. Shiva is considered old. Why? Because the first born. Everybody came later. Before Shiva, who was there? Nobody was there. Brahma Devanam Prathamasam Babu Vishwasya Karta Bhavanasya Gopta. But Brahma was the first man from whom everybody was born. So either you go for the oldest of the old or the youngest of the young. Balagopala or go for Shiva. If Mahakala is mad, Mahakali should also be mad. Only a mad person will marry a mad woman. And the children also mad. That's why it says, Khepar Hatu Bajar. That means a huge thing is a marketplace of mad people. This is what Swamiji wants to say here. If you want to look at life in its fullness, not truncated, don't look at only one side of life. Life is terrible sometimes. And again, some good patches come. Again. So he said, you're oscillating between good and bad. You're oscillating between happiness and misery. Beautifully, life is defined as, it's a pendulum oscillating between a smile and a tear. On the one hand, you're full of tears, on the other hand, you smile. So he gives each paragraph, we read last time, Pulla, Pul, Shaurabhi, Akul, etc. Everything is so beautiful, so much of love, so much of current of happiness is blowing everywhere. Then suddenly, Andhakar, Uvariyadar, Huhunkar, Shwasiche, Pralaya Vayu, etc. Suddenly there's a storm, there's a super cyclone, everything is devastated, terrible devastation. Again he contrasts, Shobhamai, Mandiralai, Hraday, Nilapoy, Tahe, Kubalaya, Shreni, etc. We read it last time. Again he contrasts, milk and honey is flowing, everything is happy. Many people don't want to portray anything which is terrible, which is devastating, which is miserable. except in movies. They go and watch terrible movies, tragic movies, and they get so absorbed and so identified. When the movie is over, they come crying. I ask them, to cry, why do you pay and go there? You are crying every day at home. That once again, psychologically, you need fantasies to survive. You project a fantasy. That's what we dream. Psychologists say dream is a fantasy which the human mind creates to escape from reality. Use something fantastic, something which is inexplicable through causality. You just go and walk that way, you're in Bombay. Space is completely non-causal. Time also is completely non-causal. So non-causality is something which liberates you. So the human mind wants a way of liberation through dreams and escape from the reality. These are psychologists talk. But if somebody can, from the point of Vedanta, somebody can analyze this. Somehow you want to escape this. In the real world, you can't. So create an unreal world. That's why even adults, old people, are very fond of cartoons. Cartoons, etc., which children study and are happy. Disney World. The whole thing is only old people go. It's so charming. Donald Duck. No, Donald you can't say anymore now. Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. And when you see them, children are so charmed. He created these characters, Disney, just to make people have the feeling of escaping from the real life. And remember, reality alone can transform you. If you want transformation in life, your consciousness, your intelligence, your mind, your body, face reality. Don't escape it. But it's terrible. You can face it when it is Shobhamai, Mandiralaya, Hade, Neelapai, Tahe, Goli, Sedi, Trakha, Hade, Rudhir, etc. Premier Prinjar, Tahe, Bana, Pran, Pakhi. Then you can face it and you're happy. Then comes Dake, Bheri, Baje, Chora, Chora, Chor, Damama, Rakkar, Veer, Dape, Kape, Thora, Ghoshe, Top, Bhavavabam, Bhavavabam, Banduke, Kadukada, Dhumi, Dhumi, Bhima, Ranastal, Goraji, Anand, Bomesh, Hota, Jwalamukhi, Phate, Gola, Lage, Buki, Gai, Kotha, Ude Jai, Ashora, अश्वयार घोड़ा हाथी पृथ्वी दिल कांपे थर थर रख अश्वदर पृष्ठे वीर झाके रणे भीति धूम गोला वर्षण गुली स्वरसन शत्रु तोप अने छिने etc. Terrible warfare is going on. Now we are seeing it every day. Suddenly there's a missile gone, so many hospitals are gone. But you say ceasefire for 2 months, but war will not stop. What is the meaning of this? I don't know. When that happens, can you face it? We are now seeing it in some glimpses we are seeing in the television, and then we are seeing it in the news. And then, terrible war. But we don't feel it affects us anyway. In our life, this kind of storms and tsunamis will come sooner or later. You may unexpectedly, somebody is ungrateful to you, somebody stabs you on the back, somebody ditches you, somebody walks away from you, somebody scandalously talks about you. You have done so much good, but people, how they turn against you. Oh, everything goes bad. A time comes in a man's life when whatever he begins to do, it goes against him. Nothing goes right. It's as if God has turned his face away from you and nothing goes right. Once again, when he turns his benign face towards you, even if you don't do anything, everything goes right. That's why the Upanishad Rishis prayed. What did they say? They said, Rudrayatte dakshinam mukham pahimam Nityam, oh, the Rudra, your Dakshina Mukha. Dakshina means your benign face. Pushan me karishe yamasurya prajapatya yoharashmin samohade jo yatte rupam kalyanadamam tatte pashyami. Kalyanadamam rupam, your auspicious, your benign, your beautiful face I want to see, not the terrible face. Swami Vivekananda says, can you face the terrible? Can you embrace it? Hug the form of death. Who dares misery love and hug the form of death, dance in destruction's dance, to him the mother comes. So Kali, can he face Kali? Then he makes fun. They have a picture of Kali or a murti of Kali, and seeing the Rudhira, seeing the blood oozing from there, and then the Munda and the Khadga and the sword, they, the heart trembles with fear. They quietly remove the sword and put a flute there. Krishna and Kali are the same thing. He says here, Dehachai Shukher Shangam, second page. Dehachai Shukher Shangam. The mind, the body always wants a touch, pleasant touch. Shukher Shangam. Everything should be beautiful, everything peaceful. You apply scent on your body, and then you dress well, and then you have all kinds of makeup. And the body wants a touch, very pleasant touches all the time. Chitta vihangam sangita shudharadhar. Vihangam means bird, pakhi. The mind bird wants sangita shudharadhar. Beautiful music is going on. Then the cuckoo, coo. In the morning we hear, and people say, oh, such beautiful singing of the birds. Monochai hashir hindor. Everywhere there will be laughter, there will be joy, and smiles everywhere. People can't smile these days. People have forgotten to laugh. See, laughter will naturally come when you have some joy in the heart. Artificially induced laughter, people nowadays do. They pay money for it. It's called laughing club. Calcutta also it is there. Laughing club. You take 1 hour time, 2 hours time, you're laughing naturally. 10 to 11, a group will come and they'll be discussing. Now, let's begin. Ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. They're releasing. Because people want to laugh. People want to be happy, but there's no happiness here. So much of animosity, so much of acrimony, so much ill will against others, so much of jealousy and conflict. And you can't tolerate anybody coming up. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Then how can laughter come to you? Monochai, Hashir, Hildor, Pran, Shada, Lor, Jaite, Dukkher, Par. Mind wants to go beyond, or prana, all the vital forces, energies. You want to go beyond all dukkha, all sorrow. Chadi hima shashanka chatai, keba bolo chai madhyanna tapan jwala. You have a beautiful air-conditioned room. Hima shashanka chatai. Shashanka means the moon. Moon is supposed to be very cool. In the night, full moon has come. All the gentle breeze, cool breeze is flowing. Now we have air conditioners everywhere. Keva bolo chai. No, I don't want all this. I will go and get scorched in the midday sun. Will anybody say that? Madhyanna tapan jwala, pran chai, chanda divakar, snigdha shashadhar, shevatabu lage bhalo. And English also you can see side by side. For those who are not comfortable. Who cares exchange the soothing moonlight for the burning rays of the noontide sun? First page towards the end, second column towards the end. Who cares exchange the soothing moonlight for the burning rays of the noontide sun? That is, Chadi Hima Shashanka Chatai, Keva Bolo Chai Madhyana Tapana Jwala. The rich whose heart is like the scorching sun, even he fondly loves the balmy moon. Pran Chai Chanda Divakar Siddha Shashadhar, Shiv Tubu Lage Bhalo. Shukhatare Shobai Katar. For the sake of joy, happiness, everybody is mad. Indeed, all thirst for joy. Breathes there the wretch who hugs pain and sorrow to his bosom. Shukhatare Shobai Katar. Keva she Pamar, Dukhe Jar Bhadabasha. Where is that madman? Where is the stupid fellow who will welcome misery? Only one person in our scriptures welcomed misery. Who was that person? Kunti. Kunti Devi said, I want more and more misery so that I can remember you. Vimada Santa Kaschit, that is a shloka from Bhagavatam. Sukhe dukh, amrte garan, kanthe halahan, tabu nahi chhade asha. Misery in his cup of happiness, deadly venom in his drink of nectar, poison in his throat, yet he clings to hope. We think something is so beautiful and then take it. But you find later on is a terrible misery which you have hugged. How much people struggle to get into exam, to get into NEET and this only 10 seats, 5 seats in MD, MS and so on. And then a few lakh people attend. Oh, they struggle day and night. After they get to into it, and the hostel life in the medical colleges we know, after that they enter, what did I do? Why did I come here? But something is pulling them, societal pressure and some kind of prestige. Shukhe dukh. In dukkha, in the cup of your joy is a beautiful joy, but coated with poison. Amrute garan. Garan means poison. You think it's amrita, that is actually garan. Gita? Anybody? What is the beginning? Vishayendriya sanyoga tatra agre vamrutopamam pariname vishama tatsukam rajasam smritam. The Gita divides sukha into 3. Rajasic sukha, sattvic sukha and tamasic sukha. Rajasic sukha, it says, Vishaya indriya sanyogat. Vishaya, the object of enjoyment, and the indriyas, the senses, when they come into contact, you feel great joy. Vishayendriya sanyogat agre amrutopamam. In the beginning, it looks like terrible joy. Pariname vishamiva. You are highly diabetic. Doctor said you should not touch even small amount of sweets. Nalin Gude Sandesh during winter, and then nobody is around because your sons and daughters will not allow you. Then you go and there are 10 pieces, only 9. Did you eat one? Your children will catch you. No, please. And then after, Parinami Vishamiva. We know full well, those smokers, for example. I don't understand why do they pay money to fill their lungs with smoke? God has given us, nature has given us such pure air. Of course, no more pure air. But you purchase, spend money to fill your lungs with smoke. It's just like when you go and purchase a packet of cigarette. That means, can you give me half a kilo of cancer? That's what you do. But people are very happy. Prakriti is pushing them. Rudra mukhe sobai darai. Keho nahi chai mrityu rupai anukeshi. Rudramukhi, terrible face, everybody is afraid. Lo, how all are scared by the terrific. None seek Elokeshi to form his death. Elokeshi means Kali. Kali is called Elokeshi because her hair is called disheveled hair. She doesn't carefully when the hair that put is there, etc. Then put to just because mad. It's called Elokeshi. Ke elo Elokeshi. So she is called Elokeshi. Nobody wants the terrible face of Elokeshi. Everybody is terribly afraid of the terrible. Ushnadhar, Rudhir Udgar, Bhim Taravar, Koshayade, Basi. The deadly, frightful sword. See, look at Kali, it's a total form. On the one hand, she is terrible with a khadga, sword, and a munda, from which the blood is still dripping. And it is being tasted by jackals. Have you seen the picture? Rudra, jackals will be there in the Kali Murti. And the other side, Abhaya and Vara. The deadly, frightful sword reeking with blood. They take from her hand and put a lute instead. They put a flute. No. Kali is also Krishna. There is a theory in Bengal. Kali and Krishna are the same. So they give the names Kali Krishna or Krishna Kali. Kali Krishna is a common name. Swami Vivekananda's name was Kali Krishna Maharaj. In Bengal, Bengal Tantrism, because they can't bear this terrible form, they convert it into Krishna. Why it's called Tantric Vaishnava Tantra. सत्य तुम्हें मृत्यु रूपा काली सुख वनमाली तुम्हार माया रे छाया. You are the one truth. True, thy garland thee with thy skulls, but shrink back in fright and call you all merciful. Karalini, karo marmached, hok maya bhed, sukha swapno, dehe daya. The deadly sword reeking with blood, they take from your hand and put a lute instead. Thou dreaded Kali, the all-destroyer. Satya tumi mrityu rupa Kali. Thou alone art true. Thy shadow is indeed the pleasant Vanamali. Vanamali is our Krishna. Vanamali, the pleasant Vanamali. Chandana charchita nilakalevar. You feel so pleasant when you the terrible kirtana of Kali when you sing. You feel no, stop now. Oh, my terrible mother, cut quick the core delusion, dispel the dream of happiness, rend asunder the fondness of the flesh. Satya tumi mrityu rupa Kali, sukha vanamali tomar maya re chhaya, karalini karo marma ched, hok maya bhed, sukha swapno dehe daya. The dream of happiness and the fondness for the flesh. Dehe daya. Very expressive statement. All our problems arise from dehe daya. A deho ke amra daya dekhachi. See, we should be very careful. Let us go and sit for some time. It's terrible cold wind. No, I should be very careful about my body. How carefully we take care of the body. Dehe daya. Daya should be shown to others, not our own body. Once our revered Vivekananda Maharaj very half humorously made a serious statement. we are expected to have bhakti to God and jnana to the body. That means the body will ultimately go, it will not stay long. So we should have the tremendous jnana. But what we do is, we have jnana to the Lord and bhakti to the body. When it's asked to do it, worship, no, God is infinite, God is everywhere, why should I offer flowers and pushpanjali? So there you will apply jnana. And when it comes to the body, Soma Dehe Dvaya, how carefully, how much time we spend on the body. And then once you enter into the bath, then this bath and the shampoo, so many kinds of things. And then ultimately then afterwards you make up and the mirror is your God. How much time you spend. We make fun of women and girls. Boys also are not. Nowadays they have solved the problem of keeping a beard. So there's no question of shaving and that also creates another beauty. And then they have a beard and a little here, a little there, and some French cut. Dehe doya undamala paraye tumai bhoye phira jai naam de dayamai. They offer you mundamala, Kali's mala is mundamala. And she wears in her kati, in her waist, the cut hands which are cut through that hem. Kali, because the garlands we don't see. If you actually see the form of Kali, you'll swoon. Particularly in the south, they can't wear. They don't keep even a picture of Kali. They only Tripura Sundari, Shodashi, and Lakshmi. Karalini Karu Marmached, Hok Maya Bhed, Shukha Swapna, Dehe Doya, Mundamala Parayatumai, Bhoye Phirachai, Naam De Doyamai. So they run away in fear and then say, no, mother is very merciful. She comes and cuts your throat, then you will know. Naam De Doyamai. Pran Kape. The whole body and the whole prana is shivering with fear. Bhim attahas. Ha 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 ha. Atattahasa. And mother's attahasa, the whole space will simply tremble with fear. The Kali Karadavadana Nishkranta Sipashini Vichitra Katwangadara Naramala Vibhushana. The Chandi Vipacharma Paridhana Sushka Mamsadi Bhairava Ati Vistar Vadana Jikvalana Vishana etc. Atattahas. Tab Bhim Attahas. Bhim is terrible. Nagna Digvash. She is the Digambara. And Bole Ma Danav Chui. No, it is only the Danavas, only Rakshasa she kills. Not a she is very happy. Danuja Danani Jajana Paripalini Srikali. Danuja Dalani, she will kill the Rakshasas. Chanda Munda Khanda Khandi Mahishasura Chindi Bhindi. Mahishasura, Chandamunda, all these Danava demons she will kill and destroy. But Nijajana Paripalini. For us, oh mother, she is so kind. That's what he says. Bole Ma Danava Joyi. Only she kills all those people. Mukhe bole dekhibo tumai. They say, Mother, I want to have a darshan. When will I get the darshan? Suddenly mother comes, they'll run away in fear. That's what he says. Mukhe bole dekhibe tumai. Ashile shomoy. Kotha jai keva jane. When she actually appears, simply they fly away in fear. Why are you saying all this? Because don't be afraid to face the tournament. That's what he says. Our whole problem is the fear of facing the terrible. That fear takes us to so many astrologers. So much money they because the terrible time is coming. Shani Dasha, some terrible time is coming to you. Shani is the 8th house in the Vakra Drishti towards Manchester. How long will it be there? There's a story, a joke. Somebody went to an astrologer. Next 2 years, a terrible time for you. 2 years you have to bear. No, there is a way for it. Once you pay me something, I will. Then they said, 2 years. Afterwards, you'll get used to it, don't worry. Astrologers thrive, particularly during elections. That's why the present government wants to have only one nation, one election. Otherwise, astrologers, 8 months in a year, they'll go jobless. Now continuously elections are going on. I'll show me your hand. What do they see? Nobody knows. But this particular, now it's slightly better now. So you go, so easiest way is to go to Tirupati and put some handsome money there, and then everything is solved. So how terribly weak we are. Of course, they may be real, I don't know. There's some kind of bad influence, maybe real. Face it. What is going to happen after all? The face is, just face. So there is another interesting way. Go to Kali herself. Who can be more terrible than Kali? I will face you, you remove this from me. That's what tantrics do. See, look at the fearlessness of the tantrics. They may do all kinds of things. That is another matter. In the Birbhum Mahashmashan, those who have gone there, you know. Anybody from Birbhum? No. Oh. So you have seen the Mahashmashan there. Bhamakepa and others. Terrible. And Amavasya, dead of night, they will go, sit in the chakra, Bhairava and Bhairavi, etc. And then drink Karana, etc. Oh, you will feel, you cannot even enter. Such a terrible darkness. Even if it is slightly dark, you always want to put the night bulb. People can't face darkness. Terrible things. Ashile Shomai, Kothai Jai Keva Jane. When actually she comes to you, then they will run away in fear. Actually, we say we want to see God, etc. If he actually comes, actually suppose he comes. You call me? Oh, who are you? And then sometimes we want to pretend as if we are not attached to the world. We want to go away. There's a story of an old woman. Every day she used to go to the temple. Thakur, I don't want to live anymore. Take me away. And every day she will go on crying. And others will say, see, so much of feeling. She doesn't, he is absolutely disgusted with life itself, etc. One day the pujari, the worshipper, said, let me expose her now. The pujari hiding behind the murti, the image, vigraha. And then again one day she said, hey Vatsa, aaj 12টার সময় এসে তোমাকে নিয়ে যাবো। I will come at 12 o'clock and then take you. না বাবা না, কালকে আমার মেয়ের একটা আছে, আমার নাতনের অন্নপ্রাশন। Tomorrow my daughter or something is there. Day after tomorrow my grandson is getting an annaprashan. So we have a huge agenda. Don't think this is easy. And we at least we should not pretend. So who are you pretending to? He is Antaryamin. The problem with Hinduism, I thought, what is the problem with Hinduism? In Hinduism, God is Antaryami. In other religions, he may be somewhere, we don't know where. So he can intelligently escape his eyes. He may be somewhere there, Chatkurita Koran. So let me manage now. In Hinduism, is Antaryami. in some houses, high-rise houses, they don't allot any separate room for puja. It's a waste of space, they say. So one small almirah in which some pictures will be there. One screen they put. So during puja, they will go inside the screen, do something, and then put the screen. They come out and they are watching a movie outside. And the movie, naturally, all kinds of things are there in the movie. Then the mother, hey, put the screen there. Thakur is... But the problem of Hindu God, I'm here. He is watching everything. Every movement of your body and the mind and your thought, everything he is watching. He is, in the Kenoparishad, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, Shankara says in the Varsha, he says, Sarva Pratyaya Sakshi. He watches every pratyaya, every thought of it, I'm here. So Hindu gods are very difficult to hoodwink. So he says, आशिले समय कोथा जाए केवा जाने सत्य तो मृत्यु तुम्हें रोग महामारी विषकुंभ भूरी वितरिछो जने जने. See, such frightening statements, terrible statements. Thou art death to each and all in the world, thou distributest the plague and disease, vessels of venom filled by thine own hands. Vishakumbha bhari, so you fill vessel after vessel with venom, with poison, and distribute it to everybody, and terrible plague and mahamari, etc. And you dance, destruction's dance. That's what you do. And people say, oh, what is to be done? So in the Hindus are very clever. They go to Mahamari herself and then say, and then Mahamari also becomes a goddess, Mariamman, etc. And then you pray to her, mother, don't affect us. Because Nijajana Paripalini, you affect the whole world but leave us alone. We are your children. Hey Unmad, Apuna Bhulao, Phirena hi chao, Pache dekho, Bhayankara. Oh, thou insane, thou but cheatest thyself, thou cast not, turn thy head, lest thou behold the terrible form of the mother. You are cheating yourself. Don't cheat yourself. I am turning my head away so that I do not see the terrible form of the mother. But you can't escape her. Dukkha chao, shukha hobe bole, bhakti puja chale sarta siddhi mone bhara. Chhagakanta rudhirer dhar, bhoyer sanchar, dekhe tor hiya kape. So carry lashing at only weakness and fear. The terrible form of the mother, thou quotest hardship, hoping happiness. So hoping happiness, you think you'll get joy. Shukha hobe bole dukkha chao. Thou wearest the cloak of bhakti and worship with mind full of achieving selfish ends. Bhakti, puja, chale. Chale means under the disguise of bhakti and puja, your mind is full of sartha siddhi, selfish ends, but you are trying to worship so that you can get all your kamana fulfilled. Kapurush, daya radhar, dhanna vyavahar, marma katha monika ke. Kapurush, you covered. The blood from the severed head of a kid fills thee with fear. Thy heart throbs at the sight. Chhagakantha rudhire dhar. Chhagakantha means the sacrificial goat. Rudhire dhar. The blood is oozing out. Bhayer sanchar. Dekhe to hiya kapi. Become filled with fear and their heart is trembling. In fact, Swamiji went to the other extreme. He once said, I will show you the taste of blood. He wanted Bali here, so that so much of Bali will go on, the entire Ganges will become red with blood. Why he did this? Because immersed in tamas. You cannot imagine. Even now you see India's condition. At least some awakening, even maybe bad or good. Simply people are completely steeped in tamas. They did not know even that the British was conquering them, British was treating them so shabbily. They even used to whip them like animals. And they thought they are all great masters and all that. To awaken these people, Swamiji's main idea was to awake, awake, awake. Don't be asleep. And fear all the time. Coward, Kapur, Daya, Radha, when you say it's compassionate, see, I cannot bear all this. See, I want to, this kind of terrible things, etc. I cannot bear. I want a God who is compassionate. Chandana Charchita Nilakadi. So much of such, the Chandana and then Basi, etc. Aha, Sri Krishna, how wonderful. If you replace him with Kali, then you are terribly afraid. In life also, we are afraid of life. Face it. Swamiji's main idea, face the terrible. You know the story of Swamiji was haunted by, was chased by monkeys in Benares, near Durga Mandir. Strong, stout monkeys, some of them chased. Swamiji got slightly afraid immediately. They started running. Then they were chasing Swamiji. Then one old sannyasi seeing from this, stop, face the brute, rukhe dada, face the brute. Just turn, all of them ran away. How many times Swamiji narrated this story in his later lectures? Face the brute, face the terrible, don't run away. If you face, you'll feel there is nothing there. There is a story in Subramanya Bharati, the famous Tamil poet. He has written so many stories also. A person had elephantiasis. Elephantiasis, you know, go. So the feet becomes swollen. He was sitting in a shop because he cannot walk much. The children used to tease him and then pick away something. Then he used to show his, hey, with this I will kick you. Terrible. Even with small feet also I feel terrible pain. They used to run away. One day they teased him so much, he took his hand and there is, it is so pleasant, come on, come on. Because this one, there's no strength in that. So when you actually face it, you will see it is not so terrible. The fear makes you more terrible. Most people, when there's a terrible incident, they die not because of fear. It is fear which kills them. So you say, face the terrible and see what happens. After all, what is going to happen? You are going to die. Nothing worse can happen. Let us see what happens. Even for life, examination is the main thing for you now. And then getting a job and getting into the world. Whatever the first, face it with confidence. When you go for interview, those who are sitting there, are they angels? Are they geniuses? First go and ask, please show me your mark sheets. From class 10. They must have been very poor. I've seen some of the big scientists, this and that. Those who get very high marks finally don't shine in life. That's the problem. How changes take place, how a person becomes a genius, how you can never say. Ramanujan failed all the exams because he did nothing but mathematics. So there's not relational. So when you face somebody, he is only, why should you be afraid of him? Kapurush, Daya, Radha, and you call it compassion. Dharma Vyavaha. भांगो बीना प्रेम सुधापान महा आकर्षण दूर करो नारी माया. Free yourself from mighty attraction the maddening wine of love, the charm of sex. Nari Maya, Prema Sudhapan, Maha Akarshan, Bhango. Break the harp, forward with the ocean's cry. Bhangovina, Aguyan Sindurol Gan. The Gan, songs which you sing with the roaring of the ocean. Not this min mini pin pin that or Vidyamandir, the boys used to sing. It's a very common song. Hey, what is the song? Oh. Prema Maya Tumi. Is it Rabindranath? Yeah. Huh? Satta Mangala Prema Maya Tumi. I just got so irritated because the approach and etc. was so different. When I came here, everybody is so Ravindra is the problem. I'm not criticizing Rabindranath. I have great respect for him and I love to sing his songs. But the whole country has become, that's why Swamiji had to fight everybody. And everybody is sitting, Sato Sundara Prema. Come out now and face the world. The way they walk, from the hostel to the college when they walk, young boys who smart, you walk smart. There's a Bhango Bina. Sinduror Gan, Ashru Jalapan, Pran, Pon, Jak, Kaya. Drink tears. When tears are coming on eyes, you drink it. Don't weep. Pledge even life, let the body fall. Pran upon, let the body fall. Who cares? Jagovir, Khuchaye Shopon, Shere Shomon, Bhai ki Tumar Saje. Awake, awake, O hero, shake off the vain dreams. Khuchaye Shopon, death stands at their head. Shaman means god of death. Yama. Dadare Shaman, আর কিছু আমার কিছু কাজ আছে বাকি. Only daringly, only Ramakrishna says, hey, Yama, stop now. Wait for some time. I have some work to finish. See, that is the courage. You only Yama also you say. Or take complete refuge in God like Markandeya. Bhai ki tomar saje. Death is standing at their head. Does fear come to thee? Dukkha bhar, e bhava ishwar, mandir tahar, preta bhumi chita mache. Load of misery, true though it is, thy this becoming, know this to be thy God. Mandir tahar, preta bhumi, bhava ishwar. Bhava ke bolte hain, becoming bolte hain. That's a very philosophical stuff. And bhava means samsara. Bhava also means Shiva. Bhava Bandhana Khandan, etc. His temple, the Smashan among corpses, Tahar Preta Bhumi Chita Mache, Preta Bhumi Smashana, cremation ground, Chita Mache, in the midst of all the funeral pyres, unbending battle. That verily is a sacred worship. The last two lines are very important. Pujatar Sangram Apar. What is the worship that you are doing to Shiva? Apar Sangram. Go on fighting. Never yield. On equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Tennyson's famous lines, Ulysses. We read it in school maybe 6 years back. It's all immortal lines. That is a sacred worship. Pujatar Sangram Apar Sada Parajayitaha Na Darak Toma. Constant defeat that does not unnerve thee. Sada Parajay. Again and again you fail. Don't be afraid. Again you try. That means don't defeat unnerve you. You cow down before defeat. That's why you're afraid. Suppose I don't do well. So what's going to happen? And just before the exam they will say, "Bhara, this time I will drop Guru, this time I will not. Next time I prepare well, learn more." Alright, next time what's going to happen? Nobody knows. After that, you will see these questions are so easy, you could have done it. So I used to keep a big picture of Sri Krishna and Arjuna in my office. I used to call it Arjuna syndrome, just before exam. Arjuna same thing, just before exam. He said, I will not write the exam. Sri Krishna's main teaching was that don't be a kapurush. Kalaibyam masmagama parthana itatpai vabhadyate. Get up. Atishto tishta bharata. Sada parajay tahana daraktoma. Churna hok. Shartha sadman. Shattered be little self, hope, name and fame. Shartha, selfishness. Shad. Shad means the taste for life, that kind of hope. Man, your fame, your name. Hey, that's such a brilliant boy. He, such poor result he made. People may say that, therefore I will be careful and avoid this exam. People by avoiding, they think they can win. You have to face. Hriday Shmashan. Your heart should become the cremation ground. Set a pyre of them and make their heart a burning ground. And Nachu Kutahate Shama. In that burning ground, let mother dance. There's analysis by the sports persons. You know why India is unable to pace bowlers? Because we constantly avoided it. Only spin and spin, and we never developed. And pace bowlers we are always afraid to face. You know, there is a principle called the war principle. You know, Steve Waugh, Australian batsman, is one of the finest captains, they say. He had one principle called the war principle. You can Google and see. WAUGH. War principle. War principle says a person achieves greatness in life, cricket of course, when he boldly and fearlessly faces the balls. You face it. Don't run away. Let fast bowlers be produced by constantly facing them. Only when you're bashed, when you're constantly being battered, then only your greatness will come up. Your greatness will never be aroused if you always go for slow pitches and spin, etc. And then now we are facing New Zealand 3-0, full washed out. No, in Australia, we were showing something. The difficulty, we are never steady. You've heard of Bradman? He is the one and the only person in the whole history of cricket. You know his batting average? 99.99. And the last match of his life, he got 0. Got out. With such confidence he used to go, that's all. And when he enters, he'll come out after only a century. So it is not difficult. Face it. Face and see what happens. Swamiji was so unhappy with Indians, all constantly sleeping, indolent, lazy, quarrelsome, selfish. So many adjectives he gives to Indians. Always afraid, always scheming, and trying to avoid. Because his image will be lost. Let it be lost. Again he will come up. A time will come, people will see what is this. Just look at his picture, the way he stands. He was 28 plus, you know, his age at that time. Without knowing what kind of audience will be. He had never spoken public earlier. Face it first. Face the brute. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.